Hi everybody, I am Frugalistic Lupus Sister. What a lovely day it is here. I first want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, my new subscribers as well. I appreciate you for subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, commenting on my video. It means a lot to me, and I do thank you all for that as well. Before I start my video off, I want to send prayers out to any of my subscribers and their families that are in the Houston, Texas area and surrounding areas of Houston. My prayers and thoughts are with you all. I'm going to do my very best to try to get my donation and things out there as soon as I can. My work sister, as I call it, we are working on something to get to send out there, so we should be getting that sent out very soon. It is such a tragedy, and I just can't even imagine what they are going through out there. I just can't even imagine. Today's video, I will give you a history on my lupus. This basically is for any of my new subscribers that have not heard my history on lupus and how I think that all of my lupus really came to fruition, or just what I really think that caused my lupus to flare up to the way it did when I really got sick. But I've been sick. I was a sickly child. My mom did all that she could to take me to the doctor to see what was wrong with me. I was easily susceptible to colds and viruses and a lot of childhood diseases and things like that. And my mom just thought maybe, hey, she's a kid, she's easy, she's to get sick. So this type of kid that I was, I had pretty much every childhood disease that could possibly be out there. I had measles, I had chicken pox, I had mumps. I was easy to get a cold. I actually had pneumonia when I was like maybe 3.5, 4 years old. I was really sick. And I was a very skinny little girl. I mean, I didn't have an appetite that I can remember when I was growing up. My mom took me to the doctor, thought something was wrong with me because I wasn't eating like I should. Of course, I would love to eat sweet things, but I'm still struggling with that demon. But my mom, like I said, she would take me to the doctor and they tested me because I used to have aches and pains all over my body. I mean, I would literally be crying at night. It mainly affected me at night, and that's why my doctor back then told my mom it was growing pains. But now I'm looking back at all of the things that was going on with me. I think it was lupus. But my mother had lupus. She passed away from the complications of lupus. She was 31, 32. So my mother left behind 4 young girls. My mom was 10 when her mother had passed away. So it was, I know it was very hard on my mom because her great-grandfather, I think it's her great-grandfather, raised her and her sisters. But yeah, her mother had lupus. At that time, they didn't realize what it was. They thought maybe she had leukemia, but it was actually lupus. And my mom didn't realize that her mom had lupus until she had gotten her death certificate maybe like last year, year before last. And then she realized that her mother had lupus. But her mom was very sensitive, from what I was told, to the sun. She would have the butterfly rashes. She would be very tired, but she still continued to work because she had 4 daughters that she had to take care of. But my mom said her mother went to the hospital like on a Sunday, and that following Saturday she passed away. So within like a week she had died. And now on my mom's mother's side of the family, there are a lot of family members who have lupus. We had one recently within the last 4 or 5 years passed away with lupus. So there is lupus in my family, in my mom's side. And on my dad's side, my dad does have a trait of sickle cell. So there is sickle cell anemia on my father's side of the family. So, you know, I'm like, on both sides, I'm really struggling. But, you know, I try to do what I can to maintain healthiness. But like I said, throughout my life, I was a very skinny. I mean, I was skinny. I was a skinny little girl, and I would always ache. I would always hurt. You know, for some reason, I didn't know why I was hurting. And throughout my life, as like in high school, I was still having some, you know, pain. I thought maybe because, like, if I go outside, I love to be outside playing. I am a country girl, but when I say country girl, I'll be outside playing kickball, riding go-karts, riding horses from the country, remember, ride horses, playing softball, whatever it is. That was me. I was always outside, loved to fish. So I thought maybe that if I do too much when I'm outside playing with my friends, that I was running a lot. That's why my leg was hurting. So I try not to run or be active when I was little. But I was continued to still have these leg pains. And let's fast forward, you know, I was, like I said, having pain, sick all through high school, whatever. So fast forward to 2013. My oldest daughter was assaulted, and the stress from that was too much for me. I'm quite sure, and I know for sure it was too much for her, but she was assaulted, and from the stress from that, I mean, I was like, I had anger, frustration, depression, all of that. So I know from that, with all of the stress that I was going through, trying to help my daughter cope, it flared on my lupus. That stress, I mean, I was on a tremendous stress. So after that, doing all of that, I had began to start feeling sick. I mean, like, I was feeling sick all the time, feeling sick. I didn't know why I was feeling sick. I began to have like aches and pains all over my body. You know, I just kept pushing through. I kept working. I kept doing what I had to do, but I didn't realize, you know, that it was lupus at that time that was really flaring up. I mean, I was getting depression. I was crying for no apparent reason. I was just a mess. When I say a mess, I was a mess. And at the point, I was beginning to have heart palpitations, all over this confusion. I was getting to a point where I couldn't think clearly, and I didn't know what was going on with me. But I just continued to fight and go to work, and I was in that state for about maybe 3 months. And I finally decided to go to my doctor in February of 2014. And when I went to my doctor in 2014, my family doctor, that is, she tested me. Everything was okay. I know you all heard this story, but this is for some I knew lupus. She tested me. The results, everything came back normal, but I was still feeling sick. I mean, my entire, like, my back, when I say my whole body felt as if I had been hit by a semi-automatic truck. That's how I was feeling. I was trying to go out to the gym, try to do walks and things like that. Maybe that could help me feel better, but not knowing that when I was going outside to walk, I was not protecting myself. I was outside in the sun, didn't have on a hat, didn't have on anything, just going outside, walking out in the heat. And more that I walked, the more sick that I was feeling. I was getting sick and sick and sick. Didn't even know until, like, this is something is really going on with me, until I finally went and I got to a point where I couldn't use the restroom. And I was, you know, it may be gross, but I was having very severe constipation symptoms. And I mean, I was like sick. So when I went to I went to see a GI doctor. And so when I saw her, she immediately said, something is definitely wrong with you. You're looking okay, but everything is just all over the place with you. Which it was. I mean, I was like, it felt as though I was losing my mind. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And she did some tests on me, the same exact test that my family doctor did for me about 3 months prior. This time they came back like super abnormal. G's car. It came back super abnormal. So she immediately referred me over to my first rheumatologist that I had. I'm on my second rheumatologist, and the second one I really do like. But she referred me over to a rheumatologist, and he initially said that I had first he said pre-lupus. So I don't know, pre-lupus. But then he was like, well, you have mixed connection tissue disorder. And then he finally gave me a diagnosis of lupus. And right away he put me on Plaquenil, but I was still feeling horrible. He did not tell me that it was going to take me at least 3 months for the Plaquenil to finally get into my system. I'm like, I am taking this medication. I'm not feeling any better. I just feel horrible. He like, well, just continue to take the medication. I'm like, is there anything else that I can do? Because, you know, at that point, I was really frustrated. And I was still trying to grasp the fact that I had lupus, and I knew that my grandmother had passed away with lupus. So just the thought of lupus and all my family members dying with lupus, I was like all over the place. Thankfully, my husband, my kids, my mom and dad, my entire family, they were very, and they still are, very supportive of me, and I do appreciate that. But I was like all over the place. When I say I was a mess, I was a mess. And but he just continued to keep me on the Plaquenil, and he didn't give me like any other advice to what I need to do. So I just start researching, start reading up some things, and I went back to my family doctor, and I told her, you know, that I can't deal with this current rheumatologist. The rheumatologist that I was seeing initially, he was a patient of mine. Well, you know, I work in a urologist's office whenever I can, but he saw the doctor that I work for, so you know, I know him. I give him a try, you know. But he was like 70 years. I'm not saying that 70-year-old doctors shouldn't be practicing, but I was feeling that he was not up on his, I don't want to say skills, but you know what I mean, on the current things that people deal with lupus. So I went to see another doctor, and I really do like him. He's very understanding. My oldest daughter, she has some issues too, but we are still trying to figure it out with her. But my baby girl, she sees the same rheumatologist that I see, so because she has Raynaud's, so it sucks. But now I am feeling great, thank God. But I do have my moments. I just have to be very careful that if I know someone is sick, I do not go to their house. I do not visit them. I do not be around them. I go the other direction. If I know someone, if we are actually going to a public place, I try not to go there. I try to stay home as much as I can, but it's kind of sad that I really can't go out to public places because I'm afraid that if I can easily catch something, and I know once I catch something, it's a struggle for me to get over it. But I'm doing okay now. Typically when I have my flare-up, I lose weight. Then the reason why I lose weight, because I don't have an appetite, I can't eat, and I am just totally miserable. But I'm doing good, thankfully. That's all I can do. I love you all for watching my channel. If you'd like to share with me your history with lupus, I would appreciate it, and we can talk about it. But it's even sometimes now I get depressed because I can't do the things that I used to do. I used to be able to go out with my friends, but I really can't plan things, or I do not like to plan things because I do not know how I will be feeling when that time comes for us to go out. So I'm just kind of like, you know, it's a bummer. So I try to just do things with my husband and kids because I know that they would understand, and my friends would too, you know. I trust them, but I just don't want to have them all hyped up about going somewhere and I bail out on them. But you all, I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we are going to continue to send our thoughts and prayers to everyone out there in Houston, Texas. And I love you all again. Thank you for watching. Much love to you. I am Lupus. one of those days. I am Frugalista Lupus Sister. Bye.